Welcome, everyone, including those on Zoom, to Summit Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Please silence your cell phones as we listen to the prelude. Quiet your minds and your hearts. Thank you, Jerica. My name is Shari Ryan. I'm your service associate today. I have medium length brown hair and glasses, and I am wearing a flowery green and yellowish blue dress. Okay. Here at Summit, we ask you to imagine a different kind of religious community. We don't all believe the same things, but we come together uniting around a commitment to love, to justice, and to care for each other and the world we inhabit. We look for wisdom wherever it can be found, in the world's religions, modern science, nature, philosophy, and the quiet insights of personal experience. Together, we are on a lifelong spiritual adventure. If you are new and would like to know more, you can visit our website, summituuf.org, and click on the Visitors button. If you are here in person, we do have a welcome table right outside the front door. And please stick around and chat with us after. Everyone's really friendly. Okay. We now have actually 6 announcements, so please keep them brief. We'll start with Margot, and then Jessica, Mary, Jerica, Aline, and Ted. You guys have to remember who you are because I'm not going to remember.
Good morning. I will be brief. Just a reminder that Monday, first Monday of the month, we're having our poetry workshop in the library from 10 to noon. Everybody, you know you're welcome. You don't think you're a poet, but if you come play with words, you're going to find that you are, and you can greet yourself arriving as a poet. So invite anybody. If you have a piece you're working on that you want some feedback on, we spend a lot of time just doing, imaginative and good exercises to get our imaginations and our stimulation. And it's a wonderful discovery to show how many people who thought they couldn't be poets, that you can get great bounty out of fewer words, and you are a poet. Any questions, you can talk to me after service. Thank you.
Yes, if you're giving an announcement, please line up so we could do it quickly.
All right, so it has happened to the best of us. You buy your pickleball paddles because you're going to play pickleball and it doesn't happen, or you buy that juicer because you're going to make all these smoothies and it doesn't happen. But those things deserve a good home, and now you can make that possible because we are having a rummage sale and we need your gently used items. The rummage sale is on June 27th. Don't bring your things in yet. The week of June 21st through Friday, June 26th, drop your items off in the salon, and we are still looking for volunteers volunteers to help us as well. And I have these little sheets that are in the greeting room if you want to put something on your fridge. But yeah, we are looking for your items, and this is to raise money for security cameras to make our campus a little safer. So if you have any questions, ask Mark Weedman, and thank you.
Good morning. There you go. Good morning. I have two quick announcements for y'all. Next Sunday is Flower Communion. So bring your flowers. It's also our annual meeting, so come and be here for that. But bring flowers to Flower Communion. You will gift a flower and receive a flower. My other announcement is I've got the summer schedule for RE all set up, and we're playing all summer, lots of fun things to do with our kids, and I need some volunteers. So if you're interested, please come talk to me. You'll see me running around with a clipboard. I may come talk to you.
Good morning, friends. I'm super excited for this summer. We're going to do something a little bit different with our choir program. We are going to do a summer of basics. So if you've wanted to join the choir but were too nervous to do so because you thought you couldn't do it, you can first. Second, this is the summer to join. We're going to go all the way back to how to sing, how to do music, how to be in a choir, all summer long. I'm going to release a whole schedule of what's happening for June, July, and August. So if you want to join the choir, now is a perfect chance to do so. Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Aline with Social Justice and reminding you to bring fans, floor fans or table fans on June 14th for our dear friends and Western service workers who can't afford air conditioning. So don't bring it to the rummage sale, bring it to Western service workers. And they'll be here to help collect them that day, and we have some volunteers who'll take more down. So we have 4 so far, and we'd like some more. Thank you. Yes, they can be used, lightly used, as long as they can go around.
Greetings all. Can you hear me okay? Great. Bend it down to the microphone. I'm Ted from Summit and Old Farts with Hearts, and we have asked for your underwear that you're not going to use, right? Best of all, though, is donations to Social Justice in Action for purchase of underwear for homeless downtown. I made a purchase today, $442 for 144 pairs of men's boxer briefs and 100 pairs of women's briefs, and a lot of the boxers go to the women too. Anyway, we can also use volunteers to help us make sandwiches at our house on Sunday afternoons at 2 p.m. in the college area, and then we go downtown at 3 to distribute food, clothing, including underwear, socks, all kinds of jackets and things that you'd want when it's cold at night to sleep. And special thanks to Social Justice in Action Committee, and definitely extra special to Sarah, who is helping me so much all the time. Thank you all.
Okay. Our commitment to justice compels us each Sunday to pause and acknowledge that we gather on the ancestral lands of the Kumeyaay people. This land was not freely given, and the history of its taking is part of a story that we inherit. We honor the resilience, sovereignty, and ongoing presence of the Kumeyaay Nation. Serafina will now come light the chalice while I read Call to Presence by Reverend Bob Janice Dillon. Here within these walls, here in this community of love and justice, we pause in our busy lives to consider what is worthy of our deepest yearnings. In the time we are given here, may we pay attention to the wonder of each moment. May we grieve what is lost. May we be grateful for our life on this beautiful earth. And may we prepare ourselves for the work love calls us to do. Just as we are, may we be the beloved community. Please stand as you are able for the UU hymn and aspiration. The reading today is Out of the Flames by Sarah Eileen Lawal. And I'd like you to picture the problems of the world being like flames surrounding us. Out of the flames of fear, we rise with courage of our deepest convictions to stand for justice, inclusion, and peace. Out of the flames of scrutiny, we rise to proclaim our faith with hope to heal a fractured and hurting world. Out of the flames of doubt, we rise and to embrace our mystery, our wonder, and the awe of all that is and all that is to come. Out of the flames of hate, we rise with the force of love, love that celebrates our shared humanity. Out of the flames, we rise. Okay, now I would like you to rise. As you are able, for the hymn, The Lone Wild Bird, Jerica Stone will cantor, and the words should be on the screen. We now have a couple of joys and sorrows. Iris Neal has a concern. Tomorrow is her oncology appointment, and she will find out what her course of treatment will be. She would appreciate your thoughts and prayers. Also, some of you already know Tom Biggert has been in the hospital and is now in post-acute care. Last I heard, he had some transfusions, and I'm not sure how exactly he's doing, but he does welcome visitors. So please keep him in your prayers and find out his room number, because I don't know the new room number. Okay, let's take a moment of silent prayer or meditation with these concerns in mind. Mary Carter Vale will now read us a tale of wisdom.
Good morning. If anybody'd like to come up, get close. It's going to be a spoken story today, but you're all welcome to come. I could use some help. So my name is Mary. I'm your Director of Religious Exploration. And today I am wearing a black dress with moons on it because it's Blue Moon Sunday. This, for those that don't know, this is the second moon in the month of May. And I have long hair and glasses. So good morning. I'm going to pull up here. I have a story to share with you today that comes from the Buddhist tradition. Does anybody know what's going to happen in the future? You guys know?
Yeah, those castles, and now there's not much castles.
Not many castles in the future. Good to know. We don't know, right? We don't know what's going to happen. But are you curious about the future? Is anybody curious? Yeah. So the story today is about some seeds. So sometimes we think about the future being far away, but really it's quite close. And every moment you're entering into the future. Every single moment. So here's the story I wanted to share with you. Once upon a time, there were two tiny seeds. Can you make some seeds? Two tiny seeds. Two tiny seeds sitting side by side in the soil. So imagine you're in the dirt. The first seed whispered, "I want to grow." You say, "I want to grow? I want to grow. And I want to push up through the soil and feel the sunlight and bloom into a flower." Now the second seed trembled. "It's too dangerous. What if I break while pushing up? What if the sun burns me? Well, I'd rather stay safe in the soil. It's nice and warm in here." The days passed, and the first seed bravely stretched up and reached outward and pushed its little tendril up through the soil, getting the first lights, and slowly started putting up those first leaves. We've seen this in our garden, right? Those early leaves that come out. Now the second seed stayed hidden, too afraid to take the risk. One morning, a hungry bird came scratching for food and pecked into the ground and ate the second seed. So that seed that never dared to grow got eaten. Now the first seed, now a sprout, watched sadly and whispered, "To live means to take risks. Staying buried in fear is no life at all." That's a very good message for all of us, right? With time, the first seed began to grow and became a strong tree and offered shade and flowers and fruits to everybody. Its courage gave life, while the seed that stayed safe never saw the world. So, the story reminds us that in growing a future self, even right now, it's not something that suddenly appears one day. You build it over time, day by day, moment by moment. You enter into your future, and you create it as you do that. So we're going to talk about that in RE, envision what we're going to grow into in the future, and I hope you will take that story to heart yourself. So thank you so much for listening. And we have a song to sing. I believe we're singing children's recessional. There we go. All right, you guys ready? Let's go. Sit back. You.
We will now hear from our wonderful guest speaker, Mark Weedman. For new attendees, Mark is a much-loved, vital part of our community. He is a 1983 graduate of the University of San Diego with a bachelor's degree in sociology and a minor in religious studies. Please welcome Mark.
Did we have a hymn? Did we have a hymn? We do. But you're already up there. Okay. So let's just improvise. What I'd like to do is maybe do the words of meditation, and then we could maybe go to the hymn, and then come back. All right? Okay, so my name is Mark. I'm 65. I have short, cropped, dark hair. I'm wearing glasses and a green shirt. My pronouns are he and him. These are today's words of meditation, and they come from Alan Watts. Our difficulty is that human consciousness has not adjusted itself to a relational and integrated view of nature. We must see that consciousness is neither an isolated soul nor the mere function of a nervous system, but of that totality of interrelated stars and galaxies which makes a nervous system possible.
Mark's very tall. Please stand as you are able and join us in song.
I'm going to sneak an announcement in. You may have noticed our salon is a polling center this weekend. So, yes, you can go vote if you haven't already. And we will do a version of cafe in the library this morning after service. So The title of this reflection is Immortality for Skeptics, and I'd like to dedicate this reflection to the memory of former cemeterian Keith Ulrich, who died earlier this year. Immortality for Skeptics is a phrase found in Jack Mendelssohn's book, Being Liberal in an Illiberal Age. Mendelssohn, a UU minister, writer, and civil rights leader, did not subscribe to a Christian belief in personal immortality, but he passed no judgment on people who hold that idea as true. Mendelssohn died in 2012 at the age of 94. There's a wonderful remembrance of Mendelssohn on the UU World website, reflecting his influence on a young Unitarian Universalist leadership of the 1960s. In 1997, Jack Mendelssohn received the first award for distinguished service to the cause of Unitarian Universalism. This award has been issued by the UUA every year since then. As we consider the question of human death and the possibility of a soul and its survival, I affirm the right of a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. This is a value that Mendelssohn prized above all else in religion, and he put it this way: creating a religious way of life is far too important to be left to the propounders of creeds and dogmas. We become Unitarian Universalists not by substituting one confession of faith for another, but by opening our minds to receive truth and inspiration from every possible source. The most fundamental of our principles, then, is individual freedom of religious belief, the principle of the free mind. Today, I'm accepting an invitation I found in Carl Gustav Jung's autobiographical Memories, Dreams, Reflections. Jung suggested one consider and reconsider the possibilities of life after death for human beings. The Swiss founder of analytical psychology clarified that although the intellect may find nothing but myth-making in our wondering about the soul after death in order to counter the reality of a final ending, he suggested it beneficial for a person to engage the question for emotional health and spiritual growth. Jung suggested that by an immersion into one's subconscious, there lie pathways to further considerations of life after death for human beings. Jung examined his own dreams in the last years of his life. He encountered images of people he had known who had died now appearing in his dreams. He could not explain this with any rationality. He allowed for the hypothesis that something of a person might still exist beyond physical death. All speculations were just that. Jung admitted that that we cannot know one way or the other if anything survives physical death. But revisiting the question is helpful for coming to terms with one's mortality, and as we consider the question today, I remain satisfied and even liberated by some of my working answers to the question. My conclusions are just mine, and they are not sacred cows. I could change my mind tomorrow. Yet I agree with Jung. The question is worth more than one consideration. I came up with a working answer to the question many years ago. I'm a human being, and I will die one day. This manifestation of life will cease to exist at some point. The value of my life is in the living. That is enough. I accept this life as everything. I'm agreeable to an Epicurean explanation of the soul dissipating at atomic level into the universe. And I'm also open to Ralph Waldo Emerson's notion of the oversoul, absorbing any remnant of the swarm of consciousness upon death. The rest of this reflection will be a mention of a variety of other possibilities. And I repeat Carl Jung's invitation for all of us to reimagine the question. So Jack Mendelson promoted an immortality of character. How we live this one life is, quote, inspiring in itself and of its own merits, end quote. Mendelson advocated a tradition delineated by Stoic, Confucianist, Christian, and Buddhist notions on why and how to live a life noble in conduct and thought. Living a virtuous life presents the possibility of influencing others beyond one's lifetime. Maybe this is less immortality and better termed legacy, person to person, and sometimes influence upon future generations. Living on after one's death is possible by living in right relations with each other here and now. The supernatural does not preclude this possibility. The immortality of character is the possibility of a lasting influence on future humanity. No deity nor eternity guarantee required. So a wonderful book by Sue Stuart Smith entitled The Well-Gardened Mind includes a description of a pre-Christian imagery of life after death in an older Egyptian religion. At the Tomb of the Vines in Luxor, Egypt, there lies the tomb of Senefer, a nobleman who was entrusted with overseeing the gardens of the city. The inscription on his tomb reads, "May he grant that his dead body may germinate like a seed in the netherworld." Stuart Smith, a British psychotherapist and lifelong gardener, suggests that gardening provides the same psychological opportunity the ancient Egyptians allowed themselves in dealing with a primal fear of death. She writes, "The symbolism of the garden can console and sustain us as we undertake it." For everyone who plants, tills, harvests, immortality can be experienced as something cyclical rather than linear. I am reborn each spring, not by way of some supernatural promise of messianic salvation, but naturally in the germinating seed. Any rebirth into new life is not up in the clouds, but down in the soil bed of the earth. And if I have a soul, may it compost with the rest of my body when the ending comes. With this viewpoint, we can add John Fogerty's poetic lyric, "The sun came out today. We're born again. There's new grass on the field." In his book, Making Peace with Our Own Death, Tom Owen Toll poses 24 questions worth considering, and the 21st question is, what happens after I die, or what constitutes my theology of post-death? Tom briefly touches on a dozen post-death outlooks and asks the reader which views ignite their imagination. That language undergirds the motive of this reflection today. What ignites your imagination of life after death? Aside from any inherited answers or passing speculations, what ignites your imagination? The Native American scholar, Vine Deloria Jr., in his book, God is Red, includes a chapter entitled Death and Religion. Deloria argues that in contrast to a predominant white European and American Christian obsessive concern with the next life, many Native American tribal religions viewed life after death as a continuation of life already experienced. The transition is practically mechanical. Deloria Jr. writes, "It is a natural cosmic process to which all things were bound." This understanding of death allows for two significant distinctions from a Euro-Christian preoccupation with individual immortality. The first is a noticeable absence of the fear of death. And secondly, viewing a human death as a normal transition event in the life of the family the community, most importantly, in the life of the planet and the cosmos. Deloria writes, human beings are an integral part of the natural world, and in death they contribute their bodies to become the dust that nourishes the plants and animals that have fed people during their lifetime. He goes on, there is an underlying unity of the native conception of the universe as a life system in which everything has its part. Deloria reiterates a native idea of a communal integrity, which makes the preoccupation with individual identity beyond death unnecessary. Life continuation beyond individual death remains in the community and in a rootedness to the land. Deloria quotes Chief Seattle, death is merely a changing of worlds. Deloria suggests that a majority of the tribal religions assume some form of personal survival beyond the grave, but that is not the full focus. The wood grave marker and the body both return to the earth. Those are his words. Deloria points to death as a function of the community, the land, the universe, and not just an experience of the individual. The meditation teacher and writer Stephen Levine says something similar. The separate I is not the predominant experience. With the evolution of artificial intelligence and developments towards a singularity of human beings with technology, have come new notions of immortality. In his 2021 book, Virtual Immortality, the German philosopher of religion, Oliver Kruger, threads the histories of transhumanism and posthumanism as new answers to the question, what happens when a person dies? Transhumanism promises expanding longevity until a material route to immortality can be found. And posthumanism makes an even bigger claim that human survival in a universe of computers transcending human bodies is not only possible, but the only way some semblance of humanity evolves beyond its fragile carbon life forms in the coming centuries. So I ask myself, would I want to have the totality of my memories, thoughts, experiences, and feelings uploaded to a computer hard drive or downloaded into a brand new synthetic body? Even if it were truly possible to transition the totality of my mind to a virtual platform for perpetuity, would I want that to be the repository for this flesh and blood life? I have to admit, my ego is tempted. But I've concluded I would not choose virtual immortality. My life is mortal and it is precious. Because it will end one day, I choose to savor the moments that make up this life. Meaning, connection, satisfaction, and even joy are possible in the here and now. But I must choose them. I surrender the temptations of a next life, of a forever and ever. I will be here. I will be in this moment. Alone or in community, I will be present while alive. Now, I admit I've skipped any descriptions of what constitutes a soul or the soul, and I'm going to leave that to you. During the community discussion after service, you're invited to weigh in on these questions worthy of revisit. I'm going to close with Pema Chodron's telling of the Buddhist koan, the tigers and the strawberry. There is a woman running away from tigers. She runs, and the tigers are getting closer and closer. When she comes to the edge of a cliff, she sees some vines there, so she climbs down and holds onto the vines. Looking down, she sees there are tigers below as well. She notices that a mouse is gnawing away at the vine to which she is clinging. She also sees a beautiful little bunch of strawberries close to her. growing out of a clump of grass. She looks up and she looks down. She looks at the mouse. Then she takes a strawberry, puts it in her mouth, and enjoys it thoroughly. This is, excuse me, tigers above and tigers below. This is actually the predicament that we are always in terms of our birth and death. Each moment is just what it is. It might be the only moment of our life. It might be the only strawberry we'll ever eat. We could get depressed about it, or we could finally appreciate it and delight in the preciousness of every single moment of life. May it be so.
I could see why I was excited to introduce you. Okay, we will now receive the offering. Your gifts help us work together for a better world, and they also keep the lights on, our incredible staff paid. The smallest gift is welcome. If you prefer, there is a QR code in the order of service over here under Mark's name. If you're on Zoom, please use the Sunday plate option in the chat.
Schubert. Schubert was somebody who, at the end of his life, he knew he was going to die, and he wrote the most amazing works. He plucked a lot of strawberries. He must have found a really good pile of them because they're just the most incredible works. And so I'm playing one of those for you. It's called Moment Musico by Franz Schubert.
Thank you. Really like that one. Okay, please stand as you're able for hymn number 123, I've Got Peace Like a River.
It's actually hymn 100, just a small typo, but that's okay. I've got peace like a river. Yeah. Here. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. Got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow. I've got pain like an arrow in my soul. I've got pain like a river. I've got pain like a river. I've got pain like a river in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got tears like the raindrops. I've got tears like the rain. I've got tears like the raindrops in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain. I've got strength like a mountain in my soul.
Okay, can I borrow your script?
Oh, it's really tiny, but yes, you can borrow.
Thank you. These are the words of benediction for today by Sam Trumbore. Go forth in simplicity. Go forth in simplicity, find and walk the path that leads to compassion and wisdom, that leads to happiness, peace, and ease. Welcome the stranger and open your heart to a world in need of healing. Be courageous before the forces of hate. Hold and embody a vision of the common good that serves the needs of all people.
Our closing words are from Stephen Levine. Understanding is the ultimate seduction of the mind. Go to the truth beyond the mind. Love is the bridge. we close our service by extinguishing the chalice. Would you extinguish the chalice? Oh, you did? Oh, okay. I didn't ask her to, but thanks. Okay. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. If you are new, we invite you to stay afterwards to join us here in the sanctuary at about, probably 11 o'clock, okay, to discuss the sermon topic. We call it our community gathering. Or you can head right on over to the library today for our food and fellowship. You don't need to know what the salon is because you're going to the library, which is this way. Okay. Folks on Zoom, you're welcome to contribute to the community gathering. Okay. We will now sing our closing circle song, standing, forming a circle, and holding hands if you choose to.